Nigeria tackles food security and post-harvest losses. National Grid achieves 400 days without system collapse. Our prices rise after U.S. data shows tighter crude supply. The program is Business Express, reaching you live from Africa's largest TV network, the NTA. Good to have you join us at this time, and it's that time we talk business. I want to start by telling you that the blue economy promises a huge benefit, with experts projecting the change in fortune in port administration, renewable energy sources, and shipping business. But as a starting point to harnessing these gains, key players say the new Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy must prioritize increasing local capacity in the maritime trade. Michael Olaleye reports.
This 2015 quote from Reviving the Ocean Economy confirms the potentiality of the seas and oceans to stimulating a vast economic powerhouse. And to buttress this fact, experts say the blue economy is worth $1.5 trillion per year globally.
Nigeria's commitment to the sustainability of the blue economy is demonstrated by the adoption of the UN SDGs.
Nigeria, realizing this, is now determined to translating its coastline of 853 kilometers and 200 nautical miles of exclusive economic zone to maximizing the potentials in the blue economy by creating a ministry vested with such responsibility.
It will draw attention and focus on technological developments in food production, and of course, it will give rise to smart ports, green and renewable energy production, and focus on other alternative sources of energy.
Crucial in the quest to actualizing these lofty ambitions is the call for proper framework to guide the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy on policies bordering on the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund, CVFF, and increasing indigenous participation in the shipping business.
Marine talks about our waters. The first thing that comes to mind is your floating assets, either fixed or moving. If you don't have your floating assets, then you are not even set to tap into the opportunities in the maritime sector of the economy.
While the country commences the voyage of transiting from crude to blue economy, stakeholders are calling for sustainable use of marine resources for future's sake and advocating friendly policies that will encourage many to participate in the promising industry.
We are ready, we are onto it, but what left now is how to structure it and have get a sustainability so that we can get the youth employment being expanded.
A new path to increasing options of growing the country's gross domestic product has been laid, and stakeholders say success will be determined by collaborative efforts among maritime key players. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye.
Still talking blue economy. Meanwhile, the federal government says it is ready to rehabilitate and modernize the nation's ports as soon as possible. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adigboyega Oyetola, said this shortly after concluding his interaction with the various heads of agencies and departments under his ministry. He promised to look into some of the issues impeding their smooth operations with relevant agencies of the government, just as he reiterated the need for effective collaboration among agencies within the Marine and Blue Economy Ministry. This is to realize the vision of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for the sector. Oyetola also noted that dredging of the nation's ports will also continue so as to make them remain navigable, enhance their operations, and ensure improved revenue generation for the federal government. Now, ginger farmers in Kaduna have been urged to utilize the pesticide provided by the state government to avoid total loss of their farm produce caused by fungal infection ravaging their farms. Haruna Mohammed reports that the Kaduna State Commissioner for Agriculture, Murtala Dabo, said this at the flag off of pesticide distribution for ginger farmers in Kachia, Kaduna State.
According to the latest ranking, Nigeria is second largest exporter of ginger across the globe after India and the first in terms of quality. Kaduna State is known for its contribution to the exportation of ginger, with about 7 local governments predominantly ginger farmers. But this year, the narrative is about to change, with over 2,000 hectares of ginger farms in the state already affected by fungal disease, leaving the farmers at their own mercy. Worried by these, the Kaduna State government swift into action of distributing pesticides for its farmers to curb further damage of the national commodity.
You see my farm, it has rotten, but part of it. But the one that is still looking a little bit fresh now, I'm going to use it.
For over 40 to 50 years, Kachia local government have been practicing the cultivations of ginger. We've never experienced this type of disease.
This intervention by the government is a laudable one, and it will help farmers immensely.
Kaduna State Commissioner for Agriculture, while addressing the farmers, disclosed that Nigeria accounts for 15% of ginger globally, calling on the farmers to make judicious use.
Something that is alarming, and the state has started responding towards addressing this, outbreak. We are calling on the support of federal government and all other partners.
We are targeting about 3,215 smallholder farmers, and I believe it's something that we will look at the progress as we progress.
The fungal disease, if not arrested on time, will be a threat to not only the farmers but the economy of the country and next year's farming season. Hence, the call for the intervention. Haruna Mohammed.
Tackling post-harvest losses in the storage of agricultural produce is key in strengthening food security in Nigeria. This was the position of experts at the opening of the 2023 Engineering Week of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
Records show that Nigeria contributes about 51% of the total food supply in West Africa. Observers say Nigeria's post-harvest losses have increased to an estimated 3.5 trillion naira annually. These engineers are advancing the competitiveness in the agricultural sector to revive Nigeria's dwindling economic fortunes. Reducing the post-harvest losses, key players say, could be a sustainable solution to increase food availability, reduce pressure on natural resources, eliminate hunger, and improve the livelihood of farmers.
Nigeria's agricultural sector requires massive investment to increase production and to create value addition across the most profitable segments of the value chain. It is the only viable way to survive the current global economic uncertainty.
Stakeholders say reducing post-harvest losses in agriculture requires a holistic approach that involves multiple approaches in embracing technological advancements to sustain forever growing population.
To say post-harvest, you can also have a very quick value addition. Value addition, from the commodity, into what we call the product. And then finally, packaging, ready for marketing, whether it is immediate marketing within the local community or is a distant marketing that you package and export?
Scaling up and adding value. No longer looking at agriculture as products, but adding value, because it is in the addition, is in the value chain addition that we will get to reap the full benefits.
The engineers say investing in modern storage facilities like silos, warehouses, and cold storage units will protect harvested crops from pests, moisture, and temperature fluctuations. These strategies and technologies, they say, can help end or significantly reduce post-harvest losses in Nigeria. Adebola Brookslyn.
Recently, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu declared a state of emergency on food security after a meeting with stakeholders on agriculture and food production value chain. Government explained that measures in the action plan will include an immediate release of fertilizers and grains to farmers and households to ease the pains of the petrol subsidy removal. Meanwhile, based on data from the National Bureau of Statistics, the latest food inflation rate in July 2023 was 26.98% on a year-on-year basis, which was 4.97% points higher compared to 22.02% recorded in July 2022. Joining me to discuss this all-important issue and way forward is Dr. Ogbu Joseph Douglas. He is the president of Farmers Progressive Association. Dr. Douglas, you're welcome to Business Express.
Good morning, viewers. God bless you all.
Thank you. Food security is the topmost in the present administration's priority list. What's your view on the measures being taken so far to ensure that this so much talked about food security steps are being taken to realizing more of it?
Yes. I think one of the best proactive measures that the federal government has taken is to declare the state of emergency on food security. Going by the trend of things, food is one of the most component aspects of life. Man begins with food, and man will surely end with food. Without food, what will people do? The simple answer there is, people will die. Food, the necessity of food to mankind cannot be overemphasized. That is why when the president came on board and discovered the losses on food insecurity in the country, he quickly go into declaration of food, a state of emergency on food security. And also we farmers are not relenting by staging into actions to make sure that what president is declaring is not only himself, but the whole nation will be involved. The problem we have majorly is the issue of farmers having access to direct links with government. That is one of the major problems. If you look at it vividly clear, every household in Nigeria spend between 60 to 70% of their earning in procuring food for their family. And that is why the necessity of food is a thing that everybody hands must be on deck to make sure we get the result as quickly as possible.
Okay,
if not.
Okay, if I understand your last statement there, you are saying when government decides to intervene to improve food production, particularly talking about access to credit, most times there are middlemen in between. Are you saying that's one of the challenges that is impeding food security? And if that is the point you are making, yes, we've had challenges as to access to credit. Past administrations have initiated a lot of programs that brought in a lot of funding. One of continuous reference is the Uncle Boros program, which has impacted on food production. But yet, people will tell you the prices of food have continued to increase. If you look at MBS figures on food inflation, then the recent GDP, agriculture came second, talking about in contributions to the GDP in Q2 2023 compared to Q2 2022. Now, what is the way to go? Government is providing incentives, not just incentives, but farm inputs as well as seedlings to ensure that farmers get these things, as well as fertilizers as part of the subsidy intervention. Would you say this is a very good step? Yes, it is a good step. You will agree with me. There are also issues of post-harvest losses. Can you put this together?
Yes, if I will say it, the reason why the last government or the last administration could not achieve much in agriculture was because of the lapses between the reality farmers and the political farmers. I keep on emphasizing this. Until we are able to identify the real farmer, there is no way we can solve this problem of food shortage in the country. Much funds have been committed to farmers in those days, in the last administration. The problem they have is that they were not able to investigate properly to know who are the real farmers.
How do we get to know who is a real farmer? Are you sitting down here, you're the president of All Progressive Farmers Association. Yes. For me, ordinarily, on face value, you don't look like a farmer, maybe a big-time farmer. Good. So how do we get to identify who a farmer is? I'm sure we have cooperatives, we have associations like yours, we have cooperatives. When government needs to reach out with interventions, I think those are the points of contact, my thinking.
Yes. You see, in those days, we cannot differentiate between farmers and mad people in the street. Why? Because they wear rag to farm because they are doing it with manual labors. But these days, farming is no longer a culture. It is now an agri-business. It's purely business. A farmer can wear agbada to the farm, unstained, he will return back. That is the kind of farming we are introducing in Nigeria. All Farmers Progressive Association has come on board with value chain of making sure that farming is not looking like a cultural matter, but rather a business matter. That is why we are basically introducing what we call mechanized system of farming in the country. And All Farmers Progressive Association is the only association that is mechanizing agriculture properly in the country. Other ones, I don't think about whether they are involving in this mechanization. And let me tell you the truth. There is no way we can succeed in agriculture without full-blown mechanized farming system in the country. You don't imagine people that are coming out of the university today, they want to come out and use hoe and cutlass to go and farm. No, everybody wants to go and do a white-collar job. Everybody wants to come and work in the office. But if we can properly introduce the system of mechanized farming, believing you me, everybody will key in because it is very easy go. If I will show you something.
Sorry, let me hold your thoughts there. Talking about mechanized farming, we have Research Institute. We have, across the country, one of note is close by here in Zaria, in Kaduna State. A lot of research, mechanization, fabrication of homemade solutions to mechanize farming. How well are we using some of these machines to increase production? And where is the place of technology? Talking about tech in agriculture for efficiency, for improved production. How are we utilizing that?
Good. You see, the case or the problem with Nigeria is not the research, it's not the result, but the implementation. We spend volumes of money sending people abroad on Esther Code to go and have workshop and so on and come back with knowledge, but nobody is ready to go closer to the farmers. Look at climate change today. No farmer can sit down to identify and tell you that this is really the problem of climate change that they are facing. They don't even have knowledge of it. But government is spending huge funds, sending the staff from Ministry of Agriculture to go, and by the time they come back, all the report of whatever they have lies, end up in their drawers. Farmer cannot access those reports, and that is one of the major problems farmers are facing with government. There are research institutes, yes, but where are the results? How do farmers get in? But what we are doing in Non-Farmer Progressive Association is that we have a team of university dons who are saturated with knowledge in mechanized farming of agriculture in the country. Like you see this book in my hand. This is one of the books I have just rolled out, and I think over 15 copies of this book have been sent to the Secretary to the government of the Federation to look at it, and we also write a cover letter to make sure that we in Nigeria adopt a mechanized system of farming in the country. All Farmers Progressive Association is not just an analog farmers, but we are digital farmers. We are farmers who have come with knowledge to make sure we bring it to bear, to make sure we get a result-oriented program in Nigeria. Okay. We are not just here to make noise. But I want to bet government. The reason why they fail in the past time is that when they give loans to farmers, like this Ankobora you are talking about, they are giving it to shadow farmers, masquerade farmers. They don't even trace them whether they have land or not. They don't even know whether they even have houses.
Well, I don't know whether that I don't know whether that is verified, Dr. Ogbo, but for whatever reason, we've seen the impact of that. We only hope that with the new initiatives being rolled out now, we are going to get much more impact or value for whatever investments government is making in the agricultural value chain. Thank you very much, Dr. Ogbo Joseph Douglas, President of Farmers Progressive Association, for sharing your thoughts with us at this particular point in time. This is a continuous conversation. We will get you back here some other time.
Thank you very much.
Moving on, gold firms near 1 month high with U.S. inflation data on top. Let's see how other commodities are trading around the globe. Now, oil prices gained on Wednesday as U.S. government data showed tighter than expected crude supplies, while concerns about the Chinese economy limited gains. Brent crude futures for October rose 37 cents to settle at $85.86 a barrel. The October contract expires on Thursday, that is this morning. Today, and a more active November contract was up 33 cents at $85.21. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures gained 47 cents to $81.63. And the equities market closed Wednesday session negative as investors lost 27.8 billion naira. The all share index shared 0.08% to close at 66,439.53 basis points. A total of 637 billion securities valued at 7.7 billion naira exchange hands in 10,033 deals. Equity capitalization fell to 36.3 trillion naira. And now European markets opened this morning higher following the Union Bank of Switzerland earnings, UBS up 6%. Neka Oko is standing by for details of markets across the globe. Neka, are you ready for us?
Sure, Benny. Hello and welcome to the global market segment. A slew of economic data is set to roll out on Thursday, including preliminary Eurozone Consumer Price Index numbers and U.S. personal consumption data, with markets yearning for further inflation relief as central bank policy meetings march closer into view. Now, Asia-Pacific markets were mixed as China's factory activity contracted for a fifth straight month in August. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index slid 0.2%, with the Shanghai Composite also down 0.41%, while in Japan, the Nikkei 225 gained 0.88%. European markets opened higher Thursday after the Union Bank of Switzerland, UBS, posted its first set of results since the bank completed its takeover of Credit Suisse. The DAX is up 0.18%, while UK's FTSE is down 0.06%, and the French CAC also dipping 0.03%. Overnight in the U.S., stock futures were flat after the broad market index notched a fourth straight positive day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average futures rose 82 points, while S&P 500 gained 0.06% and Nasdaq Composite up 0.07%. Meanwhile, markets in Africa opened mixed, with South Africa's JSE Africa Top 40 at 0.34%, while Namibia's overall index is topping 0.14%. And that's Global Market Review. Ben, it's back to you.
Thank you, Neka, for that update. At this point, that we end the edition of Business Express. We value your feedback, so keep the comments. Observations and suggestions can be informed that all previous episodes are available on YouTube. On the NTA's channel, Business Express returns tomorrow, Friday at 3 p.m. I am Benny Adams saying, have a beautiful day ahead.
From dusk to dawn, 24